on this proposed bill?
Well, you allow me to highlight, and clearly within this topic, the issues so far raised, whether they are courts, whether these people who have been in parliament have surrendered their responsibility, issues of independence, and the constitution, because it falls into this. I think it all goes back to those same issues we are discussing. When someone asks whether they are courts, I'll also tell you whether it's their parliament. or there is a name.
That one I asked a long time ago.
Yes. So and again, even still, I'll ask whether there is an executive arm of government. So these are the bigger questions, and on whether the president indeed believed when he was just most recently swearing to protect the constitution of Uganda, especially that we are still discussing. All of us seem to be on the same page, that it is not right. That all of us are saying Article 23. We are singing Article 23 of the Constitution. Yeah? So none of us is saying that actually whatever the president uttered is constitutional. And the president is not above the law. So we are simply saying, without saying it, that the president of this country was in breach of the Constitution he swore to protect. And it is through that very Constitution that I'll tell you, even what is happening in Parliament now cannot be isolated from that lack of independence and surrender of responsibility by members of Parliament. Actually, it is a responsibility that a Parliament which is multi-party, the party in power may want to use its numbers for mob justice in courts and courts against the smaller numbers. So precisely that is what is happening, that I can do anything under the sun with my numbers. So irrespective of what the law provides. The presupposition now in our dispensation is we are multi-party. There is a ruling party and there is the opposition, which is very clear. The good thing he quoted other jurisdictions. He went to Canada. I want again, he himself from the NRM to quote Canada in this perspective, because we know what the opposition means even in other jurisdictions. It cannot mean the NRM designating. The law presupposes that the largest political opposition party designates the leader. What is happening now is using the numbers and Parliament for the NRM to designate its opposition leader, which is quite absurd and wrong. But the bigger picture in all this is that it's an institutional problem. What is happening now, in the absence of a functioning executive proper, in the absence of a functioning parliament proper and judiciary proper, you are bound to see these things, because what is happening now in the dictatorship is these lawful things or legitimate organs are being used to advance illegitimate or even sometimes, albeit illegal, ends that satisfy the regime in power. So whatever is happening in Parliament now stems from that problem we have, because it is very ridiculous what they are proposing, that the whole Parliament minus those NRM MPs on the ticket should go and elect. So they want to amend, because now they know there are larger numbers of independents who can influence and NRM leaning. Why do I state that there are no independents in Parliament? Because that is what I'm implying. We made a quick count on the number of independent MPs, and the majority is either PLU or those who went and stood on NRM ticket and did not win. Very few are people who stood in the opposition and did not win. So if you look at the way the independents are constituted, So the intention is what we look at. The spirit and intention behind the proposal is that they no longer want the opposition in parliament. They want the gang of numbers of independents, which will definitely overwhelm the NUP MPs to decide in parliament, simply fighting any iota of opposition. For example, it is such the purpose of a leader of opposition, first of all, is for providing alternative to what is presented by government, including even having a shadow alternative government. So now, how shall we end up with an alternative voice, which is a similar voice? How shall we have a shadow cabinet in any case for people who are intrinsically NRM, who have even attended NRM functions, who have stood on NRM ticket before? Will the law say those are disqualified?
But let's look at the principle. We have different political parties with representatives in parliament. Would it be harmful if they were all part of the election process? They vote for the leader of opposition as opposed to a particular political party designating who should be the leader of opposition. Is there a problem with that? The
position of a leader of opposition is not always consultative. So it would be rather funny that you would expect a party with 2 members of parliament to lead the opposition. So these are absurdities. The law was designed the way it is by legislators to avoid absurdity.
Maybe they thought there would only be one political party on the opposition
But who is complaining here? The issue here, who is complaining?
I saw one particular person from the opposition complaining.
Well, you said one.
The Honorable Sebamala.
If we had a position from the political parties in the opposition.
I've seen the Honorable Sebamala from the Democratic Party complaining. He has been on different platforms saying how he did not vote.
You are spot on. I saw a Sebamala, I did not see the Democratic Party. We are in a multi-party dispensation. There's no problem with political parties in the opposition. It is inferred, it is implied, it is not actual. That is why we have a government in the opposition, the shadow cabinet, which involves all without complaint. So now that the NRM's Namara is now the one championing the cause of the opposition, it becomes suspect, and that is how we should treat it.
Okay. All right, let's go to Imam Id Kasozi. Imam Id Kasozi, let's get your thoughts on this issue of how a leader of opposition should be arrived at.
What does the Constitution say, or the rules of Parliament?
At the moment, the political party in the opposition with the majority, takes the day, designates who the leader of opposition should be. But these people are saying, actually, this position should be elective with all the other opposition political parties. The people are planning to move the bill in the House.
You have already been told that the prime movers have nothing to do with opposition. That's why you have even seen other people, and they easily hoodwink people. That, okay, let us also vote for the prime minister. You see? And then they begin to say, when they are presented, they are
approved by the entire House.
Therefore, you see, this is an unfortunate. I think, if that was the case, it would be simple. Let the leading opposition with the majority number of people nominate as they say, and if they want to approve, then he goes to this committee for approval.
To the committee or to the whole House?
To the committee, I don't know. To the committee, because the Prime Minister is not approved by the whole House. You see? But of course, they will always put there something.
The Prime Minister is approved by the whole House. The Prime Minister and the Vice President. Not appointed, but approved by the whole House.
Is not appointed.
Is
appointed by an individual who is the president.
Then approved by Parliament.
By the whole House.
Yes. Then what's wrong with also appointing and then approved?
Even Lope is approved.
And is also approved.
Yes.
Then what is the problem? You see, this is where, what hurts me in this country is the way we have put everything to look casual. And because the decisions and the policy shaping the policies, we have relegated it to everybody who can pick his phone. He has some data there, and he speaks, and then they begin to shape. The reason I say it is because there would be shapers of policies. Those of us in academia, these ones in law, and others, we have all given up just because somebody has deliberately created a situation to make you look tired, okay, lose hope. Actually, the majority of Ugandans are in a state of hopelessness. The majority, irrespective of their level of education, the positions they occupy, and the status, they are in that state. And because of being in that state, we have committed very many mistakes which will affect this country. People are still joking. You see, people are just still joking. May God forbid, and I always pray for it, that I would like to see President Museveni leave power when he's normal, alive, and steady. Because there could be some semblance of stability. But if it occurs in a manner that pushes him away and we don't see him, we may turn into some of these states you see in the Middle East.
All right. Honorable Mulumba, let's hear from you very quickly before we go to Honorable Mahmoud.
Thank you very much, Anderson. One thing I want to say is that when we went into multi-party dispensation, we decided to follow the Commonwealth practice. And most of the thing, the way Rope is elected, shadow cabinet is elected, we're actually following the House of Commons. Then as we're talking in Parliament, it was made very clear, and it is clear, that independents are even independents of independence. If you choose to be independent, you are not even allowed to have an association of independence. Independents are independents of independence.
You are an individual.
You are an individual. Now here, when you get independent saying that now we want also to come and do this, it is purposeless.
But we are already seeing.
Of course, we are already
seeing independence in the NRM caucus.
No, actually, somebody talked about it. He said, now, what about the unindependent who has signed an MOU with government?
Yes.
Maybe they should allow even independent to sign MOUs with the opposition, and when they do. Maybe they can decide on that.
We already have independence even in the shadow cabinet.
There are merits and demerits about that bill. They are saying it is going to increase accountability and representation.
Democratize the opposition.
The opposition is saying when we go to that, and some people, that it's going to be a threat to multipartyism. Because now, for example, the opposition is not going to be doing what it's supposed to be doing. It is going to cause ideological chaos in the opposition side. Because, the opposition are looking at government in waiting. So if it's government in waiting, we need them to have their cabinet, have their loop, they do their mess, without them saying that, you know what, you
were part and parcel of this decision.
Part of the mess that was there. So I really think that we, as Ugandans, I think, like Counsel was saying, we need to not take these things casually. That's number one. And number two, let's try to benchmark on the Commonwealth practices. If we do that, I think everything's going to be okay.
All right. Let's bring in the Honorable Mahmoud, who was in the House at the time the motion was being presented. And I don't know, most likely, this issue is likely to end up in your committee because you are the ones who handle issues concerning...
if not in court, I don't know.
Yes, Honorable.
Yes, my brother Anderson.
Give us
First
also
of all,
the mood which was in the
let's
House.
put this in perspective. A private member's bill is a constitutional right. under Article 94, members have the right to bring a private member's bill. In the 10th Parliament, I brought a private member's bill. At this stage, all that was being done was seeking leave. The substance and the merit of the bill was not yet being discussed. And the standard here was on the balance of probability, that could there be a prima facie case. This is all that was being looked at. So I think my appeal as Vice Chair of Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee is that we need to restrain ourselves at this time, because as you had the speaker guiding, that to actually not grant leave is to deny hearing. This is the right to be heard. As to what I see my brother, with all due respect, talking about is already what I would call legislating in anticipation. I think that at this point, I think Parliament did what was right to give a chance for this draft to be brought in so that this matter can be discussed. As to whether we shall discuss it well and allay the fears of my brother, we shall cross the bridge when we reach there. Now, I think also it is important to recognize that Honorable Richard Lumu, in the 11th Parliament, a DP member, brought the same bill. Before Namara, when Namara was still in the East African Parliament, he brought it up, but he was advised by the Speaker and he withdrew. The matter was not canvassed.
The Honorable
Lumu Richard. We are yet to get this bill for the first reading. After the first reading, and I think the legislative process should be known here, you get leave granted on a prima facie basis. Is there a potential lacuna or gap and a balance of probability?
But it could
that
be,
is the threshold.
It could
Let me
be
just
like
finish this,
the
then
sovereignty bill, which even the president denied. You passed it in a day and even assented to it.
I just wanted to talk about the process.
Yeah, okay.
For me at this point, like I say, this bill is like, I don't want to give my personal opinion, but I think my role here is to just make people to understand we're not yet in the merit of this matter. There are bills when we were on Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee that were brought before us, and we gave a report to which actually some of them were to the contrary. So we need to have an open mind. We need Lumu tried to bring this issue, a member of DP. Now Namara is saying this. Let us have this bill. Let the Attorney General give his opinion. Let us have this bill researched. Let us have it, maybe even the first Parliamentary Council can take over it. Let us have this bill for the first reading. After it will be, even right now it's not going to legal. It is going to be referred after the first reading to Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. We shall process this bill. We shall invite different experts, including Uganda Law Society, including all sort of experts on legal matters. We shall hear them, and based on that, we shall have a considered opinion, and make a report to Parliament that eventually has the power to make a decision on that.
All right, your clarification, very quickly.
Does that mean you are saying discussion should be gagged? So wait for procedure.
Probably saying you should not be alarmed because the process may even water down the bill.
This is a lawyer. So shouldn't we discuss
If you have
this?
been
We are not
living in
precluded.
Uganda, it's automatic
This is
to
not
be alarmed.
precluded.
This is akin to subdue this.
Hey.
My brother knows very well.
No, that's what I'm saying. Are we precluded?
Allow.
Is it wayward for us to have this discussion?
It is not, but I'm saying the right time, because what do we have? A draft. It is not yet built.
All right.
When it comes to the first reading, then you will have.
It will become a property of Parliament.
You will now see the merit and demerit. It is premature, in my view, to conclude based on
but we can,
which has not been developed.
But we can discuss
even wrong
we can discuss the
think about
spirit behind it, can't we?
the spirit behind it, if you actually
We can leave the devil in the
you can draw
detail.
and touch the spirit. But the spirit is very lucid.
But I'm talking about it.
Just,
Okay.
and
Yes,
because
Honorable
it's
Member.
okay. No, we're even
okay.
discussing the
Discussing
justification
it.
Namara gave.
Yeah.
The justification of Namara in itself is what actually we discussed here.
All right,
Yes,
all right.
you can actually, but I think this could change substantially, because what I know is that even at this stage, when he was
Is that a promise from
this
legal?
could change substantively, because
But actually,
you remember the Attorney General.
actually, for me, I would think
The Attorney General was asked that, will you give an opinion? The Attorney General will talk. You remember what happened the other time? Why did the guy first get leave and then eventually withdraw?
But I think, I think, Mr. Mahmoud,
So there's a lot.
There's
You've said enough.
We are not yet at the judgment point.
You've said enough. Since you're going,
All right.
We are not
All
yet
right.
at the
since you're
judgment
going to be
point.
there.
All right.